Hi everyone, so I am talking about two different books today. I'm going to review both of them, and these books are in kind of the dystopian, well, one of them's kind of in the future dystopian societies, young adult fiction. They're awesome. I love both of them, so let's get into it. These are the books. The first book is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. And the second book is Insignia by S.J. Kincaid. Let's start with The Knife of Never Letting Go. This book, people have been raving about it. I even joined, I will try to link it below, but I joined a group of people that are trying to get through the series by the time the fourth book comes out, which is coming out, I think, in less than a month. I knew that this was a dystopian book, but I didn't know what else to expect from it. I also knew that it was about a world in which everyone could hear everyone else's thoughts, and there were only men left. The main character is Todd, and Todd lives in a village almost, or a small town, in which there are only men left because what happened in the past, or at least this is what he's heard, is that these aliens that live on the planet, they came and they brought this disease that created it so that everyone could hear everyone else's thoughts, and that it killed the women and only left the men. So he is there, and he is being raised by these two different men. He's about to become 13, in which he will become a man, and he will join the town and get to do, adult things. And right before that, I think it's 30 days before that, something happens and he must leave, and he meets some other characters along the way, another main character, and there's just a lot that happens. Now, this book was a little hard to read at times because the main character doesn't speak proper English. I mean, that is the point of the book. It puts it in character, but at the same time, it's a slower read because of it, but at the end it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Another thing is there are a lot of bad things that happen to Todd in this book, and so you have to take it in stride. It's one thing after another thing after another thing, so by the time I finished this book, I was like, I need a happy book to read. But still, it was a wonderful read. I don't know if I agree with the ending. I was a tad bit disappointed, but to be honest, it's probably because there's another book coming, or there is a second book, and so it's supposed to kind of transition into that book. Overall, this book was just awesome. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about it. Most of you have probably read it, but if you haven't, read it. Just prepare a happy book at the end to read. It's not that the book is really, depressing. It's just little heart-wrenching at times. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It gets a big thumbs up. Next book is Insignia, and this book was a huge surprise to me. I think I picked it up because I saw someone just mention a book haul, and I looked at the cover and I was like, and that looks like a book I would read. So I looked up the book at my library and I picked it up, and I was so pleasantly surprised. Now, I am a big Ender's Game fan, and I hope that all of you are. And if you haven't read Ender's Game, where have you been? Go read it. It's awesome. This book is about Tom, and Tom has a alcoholic gambling father who that's all he does, and Tom can't even show up to school consistently. He now goes to a reality school in which he uses a headset or something like that in order to just show up to class, so he doesn't even go to physical school, and he's always late. But the one thing he's good at is video games, virtual reality video games, and he just has this natural instinct for winning. So what happens is the government appears, and the government says, we want you, Tom. Basically, this book is set in a time period in the future in which World War III has happened or is happening. Corporations basically run the world now, and the corporations are basically split down the line. So America is in an alliance with India and a couple other countries, and then China and Russia are in an alliance with a bunch of other countries, and they're basically ruled almost by these corporations. And what they're fighting over is not on this planet, but rather in outer space where all the resources and minerals are, because nothing is really left on the planet except for people. And so there are fighters from each country who control spaceships in outer space, and these are kids that do that, and they fight each other in outer space to win control of these resources. It was awesome. And so Tom is in this school for learning how to fight in outer space, although he's obviously not physically going there. And I just love this book. This book is a thick book, just like The Knife of Never Letting Go. These are big books, and I read this book and then The Knife of Never Letting Go, and I was exhausted by the end of it. But it is so good. It is just science fiction at its best. Especially, it was a huge surprise to me because I'd never heard of it before. So read this, please. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I would have given it 6 if I could. So here are the books. Both are awesome. I gave both 5 stars. I hope that you saw this review and thought I need to go pick up those books or at least check them out in my library. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!